Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. If you'd like to know how to do this eye makeup on a budget, and you don't have to be a makeup artist to do it, because I am definitely not, keep watching. I really appreciate you guys coming over to my channel and getting to know me a little bit more. I'd love to get to know you a little bit. This is my first video actually, and I'm so excited. I have been just wanting to do this for a while, and I decided it was time. I want to do this. I want to kind of explore my little hobby, my little passion for makeup, and explore it a little bit more on YouTube and share with you guys the things that I've learned. I think one of the biggest things for me is people would talk about stuff and I'd be like, well, wait, what is that? What are they talking about? I don't know any of this. I'm not a makeup artist, so help me out here. So I'm gonna try to do that for you guys. If I don't, or if I like start talking ahead, let me know, because I want to make this really like interactive and so much fun for everybody, because I'm excited about it. I want you guys to be excited, and it's just gonna be a blast. And yes, I talk with my hands a lot and I apologize. But anyway, we're gonna be using this Milani Earthy Elements Everyday Eyes palette today to get the look that I've got on my eyes. So if you wanna learn how I did this, then keep on watching, and I would love to get to know you guys more. Please comment, please subscribe. I would just love that so much. I'm just so excited to be here. I don't know if you can tell, but like I'm bouncing off the walls a little bit. So anyway, this is my little, welcome to my little filming room. This is actually like our guest room. I don't have like a dedicated room. So this will end up being a baby room, hopefully someday. Not yet though. And so I figured this was a pretty good use for it, but I've got my cute little rocking chair that my mom bought me, and I'm comfortable, and the lighting's not great, but we're gonna work around that, and I'm gonna learn more about how to make videos. And I just think this is so fun. I'm so excited. So anyway, yeah, I'll be back. Hi guys, we're back. I have always stayed very neutral, like browns. I've experimented with some pinks and stuff like that, but not a whole lot of orange. And I actually, like, I've played with this a couple times and I really love it. It's so much fun. What I was thinking is, because I'm not a makeup artist, and I want my channel to be for people who are just like learning how to do this. Like, I just barely got into it and they're learning how to do it, and it's just, if you have questions, because I know recently I've had a lot of questions and I'd like type in, you know, certain YouTube videos and, oh, okay, like I get it. I can figure this out. So I wanted to make it like an easy look. And so what I think is so cool about these, and a lot of drugstore shadow palettes have these, which I think is really awesome, because we're not makeup artists, but we love it and it's so much fun and we want to like continue to learn more, is they have these like step-by-step things on the back that tell you where to place the color. So I'm gonna follow that, sort of. I actually prefer to do my transition shade first in the crease of my eye, and then I do my brow one at the very end. And this is saying to do your brow first and kind of cover your whole eye with it. I just prefer it to do it a little bit different. But I'm gonna show you. Can you see? So there's step 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and 6. So anyway, I don't know if you can tell, this palette is well loved already, and I've only had it probably about a week. So we're just gonna get going, and I hope that I can help you learn something. So what I actually like to do, and this is something that I got not long ago and I've never used before, is an eye primer. This is the Milani eyeshadow primer, but it's a nude color. I got the color 01 Nude, and it says, apply to clean, dry lids, blend well from lash line to brow, allow to set for 30 seconds. I like to blend it with my fingers just because it is a cream product and it's easier for me to blend it with my fingers. I've got my little mirror here. Sorry, it's one of those double-sided, makes me look huge on one side mirrors. And so I'm gonna be kind of looking this direction while I'm doing it, just because it's really hard to do it in the viewfinder of my phone. And so we're just gonna go ahead and get going. So I start by using just like a teeny tiny, I don't know if you can see, that is literally how much I use for one eye. The tiniest amount. So I just go in and put it on my eye. And the reason I like this nude color is it kind of covers up some of the veining that I have in my eyelids, and I like that. I did use a concealer for a really long time as my eyeshadow primer, and that was okay. It just didn't make it last as long as what an actual primer does. This is what it's made to do. Once again, just like a small pea-sized amount is all I'm doing for my other eye. I am gonna do my eyes first, and then we'll go back and do the rest of my face, just in case there is any fallout. This Milani palette, there's a little bit of kick up and fallout, but not a ton. Like, I'm really impressed. I'm sorry, I keep reaching in front of the camera. I should put this stuff over here. See, I'm learning. This is what this is all about. So I am going to take, I've loved makeup for a really long time. My husband actually asked me, like, when did you start loving makeup so much? And I feel like I started loving makeup from before we got married. I just didn't know anything about it, and I didn't know that you could mix and match. So for one of my birthdays, he got me some makeup, and it was very expensive makeup, and I loved it, but I thought that I only had to use that kind, and I couldn't afford to like keep purchasing. So that was my birthday present every year, is I would get new makeup every year for my birthday, and I loved it. But I couldn't really like explore and try out new eye looks and stuff like that because I was set by that price. I use that in conjunction now with other stuff. I think makeup's so much fun, and so I am really loving just being able to like try out new things. Sorry, I talk with my hands a lot. To try out new things and to learn new things, and like following YouTubers and, you know, all of their yearly favorites, their February favorites, all of that I'm watching right now, and I'm learning more, and it's just so much fun for me. And so I don't know where my love came from, but I'm really enjoying it. It's fun. It's a hobby for me. I don't really have another hobby. Like, this is now my new hobby, so I love it. Anyway, to set a primer, like I was talking about before I went off on my little tangent, you're going to use some kind of powder. There's a bunch of different powders I like. You can use a translucent setting powder, but I actually really like this Wet n Wild Mega Glow contouring palette. And I use this light shade to set my eye primer. It just makes a really good base. So if you don't set it, the first product that you put on, well, all the products, where there's a little bit more primer, it's gonna set and stick to that spot and skip your brush, and it's not gonna get a good like clean look. So you wanna just take something, and this goes over my whole lid. And so I just pack this on my lid, not pack it, I just kind of brush it lightly, I guess, over my lid, so that this is what sticks most to the primer, and then the primer can kind of hold on to the rest of the makeup. And this is so stupid, but like I'm wanting to teach people what I've learned. I've learned with your palettes, if you set the lid up, like a lot of lids hold themselves up, it gives a really good like spot to tap your brush off on after you do it, after you pick up the product. So just gonna do the same thing with the other eye. And I was gonna tell you, this brush, I just got off Amazon, and it was because it was cheap. It's a BS Mall brush. I don't love these sets of brushes, but I have found uses for them. And so I think that's one of the great things about makeup, is you may not use a brush for what it's intended for, or a color for what it's intended for, but it's art, it's makeup, it's supposed to be fun. You just do what you can, and it works great. And that's another thing, don't be intimidated by like, oh, I don't know which brush I'm supposed to use, I don't know this, I can't do makeup. Yeah, you can. Like, use what you've got and just make it work for you. Because really at the end of the day, you're doing your makeup for you, because it's fun, because it makes you look pretty, it makes you feel good about yourself. that's why I do it for me anyway. So we're gonna go in with this Milani palette here, and I'm just gonna keep my brushes on my lap here. The ones that I like to use for my eyes are the Eco Tools brushes. There's a few that I don't have, like I need a couple more blending ones, a little bit smaller, more precise, more tapered blending ones and stuff like that. But like I said, making what I've got work for now, and I've signed up for a couple of those like Ipsy and Birchbox, and there is one for brushes that I signed up for. I'll link that below. It'll be really fun. Okay, so we're gonna start. I'm gonna take, so the first day I got the Milani product, I tried the brush that was in it. This end might be okay for packing color, but this one is too stiff, and my nails are terrible, you guys, I'm sorry. This one is too stiff, I feel like, for my transition shade. I want something a little bit softer, and so I go in with the Eco Tools brushes. I'm just gonna take the Milani brush out and set it there. So we're gonna start with, this is the transition shade. And this is the color number 2 that they tell you to do the transition shade with. So I'm just gonna put it, and then I kind of tip my palette up and tap off the excess, just so you don't get a whole lot of fallout underneath your eye. Fallout is shadow that falls down here, and it can be, it's not so big of a problem when you do your eye makeup first, but when you do your face makeup first and then you get fallout onto your cheeks and stuff, it's harder to get off. So anyway, we're gonna start with this transition shade. I start super, super light, and then I just like make it a little bit darker by going in with different layers. So you don't wanna start super dark, and you can see, I don't know if you can see that, that is super pigmented. For a drugstore shadow, that is amazing. So you just go in, and you can see that I'm holding my brush kind of back a ways. And that's just so that you get like a good, sorry, my phone's dying. You get a good wash of color kind of all along. I don't want it too precise in this area. Later on, I'll want it more precise, and I'll kind of grab up on the brush a little bit more, but right now I don't want it that precise. And I think maybe I'm using a brush that's just a little bit too big for this purpose, but like I said, you get what you have and you make it work, and then you kind of experiment with other things. You can see I'm kind of dragging this down in this inner or outer V, there is what they call that. I don't have a lot of product on my brush yet. I will be making or adding more color later on. And so you just, usually I have to do some coats, but this is so pigmented that like I think that's done. And honestly, I think this looks pretty. If you were just trying to hurry and just, you know, put some color on and get out the door, you could put your mascara on now, or you could do a liner and mascara, and it would look pretty. But I want to glam it up a little bit, and I want to use the whole palette to show you kind of what I like to do with it. So yeah, I think that actually looks good for a transition shade. A transition shade goes in your crease. Your crease is where your brow bone ends and like your kind of eye socket starts. And so you just put the color there. I've got a little bit of hooded eyes, and so I like to wash that color up just a little bit, because you don't see, I don't know if you can tell, but when I'm not lifting my eyebrows, because I lift my eyebrows to put my makeup on. It kind of drives me crazy, because then I don't get the product exactly where I want it sometimes. But I don't know if you can tell. I'm going to get a little bit closer. This part of my lid kind of falls down over that part. And so the reason I like to put the color up a little bit higher is so that you actually see it, and it's not hidden just right there in the crease. So I put that up a little bit. I'm actually gonna blend a little bit more towards the center. See how I like go like this when I put it, and I can't stop it. I'm trying to, but I can't. Okay, I think that looks a little bit better, where I have a little bit. You want to focus your darker colors on the outer V most of the time, unless you're doing like a halo effect. but I do like to have some color on the inner corner. I think it looks better on me, and that's total personal preference. So then just go onto your little palette, and we've done the second step. Remember, I saved the first step, which is the brow bone highlighter, for the very end. So it says step 3 on here is to pack the color on your lid. The color that it's saying to use is this. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. So pretty. It's like orange. I've never used orange before, but like it is gorgeous. So I am going to use another one of my EcoTools brushes. This is the Accent Shadow brush. And what I like to do, I like to use my hand as kind of a little palette, and I get all of it off, or I go like this and just make sure all of the color from the time before is off, because you don't want any of, especially if you're doing this glam look, if you're doing like the same thing every day, then it's not maybe quite so big of a deal. You do need to wash your brushes to keep them clean and stuff, but just kind of kick off all that color, because you don't want that to go into your new look. So you'll see that I'm actually going to hold this brush up a little bit more, and I forgot my setting spray. One second, I'll be right back. I'm back, sorry about that. So setting spray can make a difference on especially really foiled shadows. This one isn't so much in the inner part, or on the lid, but I'm using this Milani Make It Last. I don't know how to do this. I don't have like, can you see? There, yeah, you can see that. So it's the Milani Make It Last setting spray. It's a 16-hour wear setting spray. A lot of times you'll use this at the end to spray all over your face and let your makeup kind of set into your face. I like to use it for a couple different ways, but I'm going to show you the difference between spraying your shadow and then packing it on your lid, as opposed to just packing your shadow on your lid, and like the difference that it creates. We're just gonna go in with that really pretty orange color. I'm gonna take my brush and I lay it sideways and I pack the color on like this. I tap this off still, but I don't tap quite as much off, because when you're packing the color on, when you're not like fanning it out, you're putting it in place, and you want that color to be vibrant and you want it to be there. So I'm gonna do it on this side. On this side, I'm just gonna pack this color on, and you can see, I don't know if you can see this, but like it got like 2 or 3 stamps, and there's not a ton of color on there. So we're gonna go in with more, and I didn't tap off very much. I don't know if you can tell on my brush. Like I stamp it, and I stamp it just all over the place up to my crease. I don't worry too much about going towards my inner corner, because I'm gonna get there with a different shade. I wanna brighten that and lighten it up a little bit. I mean, that doesn't look too bad actually. I don't know if you can see the difference. But now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pick up that color, and then I'm gonna use this setting spray, and I just hold it about this far away, and I just spray the brush just a little bit to kind of wet that color just a little bit. And especially with foiled shadows, you'll notice a huge difference. Another thing that you can do is you can see that's already darker pigmented than that first one was when I first put that on. I am gonna have to go in with a second coat again, but like the pigment is already there. And my brush is still just a little bit wet, and so I don't respray it. Sometimes I do. If I feel like it's dried out a little bit, I'll respray it. Okay, so you can see that I've got that really pretty orange shade down there. And then it says to go in with this number 4 shade. That's really pretty. So I am actually gonna take my EcoTools shade brush, which looks like this. Now this is kind of a bigger brush than what I'd actually like to use for this, but it works for me. And the thing that I like to do when I'm doing the outer V is I get my product on, and then I actually like to start on my lash line, and then I kind of go up into my crease. Now with this one, the reason I like this brush is because it doesn't go up above my crease. I don't want this color to go up above my crease. I want it to stay in my crease. I kind of start on my lash line, do that part of the V, and then come up. And this is not like a hugely dark color, but it gives a little bit of a sheen. Oh gosh, sorry. It gives a little bit of a sheen to that outer edge. And oh my gosh, it's so pretty. It's so pretty. So we're gonna go on this side again. And like I said, you just go in with light layers and you just build it. You don't have to go in with your brush like completely full, because then that sometimes messes up your color, and you don't want it to do that. Oh, that's so pretty. Okay. So now I've got the color where I want it. It's a little bit more than what I would like it to be right now. And so I'm gonna take this EcoTools blending brush. It's just this taper blending brush right here. And I'm just gonna kind of blend out the edges and make them a little bit softer, especially this edge right here. And always make sure you kind of look at yourself from a distance, because now that I'm looking at myself, and you guys can probably see it, this eye, that lash shade is quite a bit darker than this eye. It's easier to pack more color on than it is to try to take it off when you've already done your eye. So I'm just gonna do a little bit more color on this side and it'll be good. Okay, I think that looks a little bit more similar. I've lost my transition just a little bit, and so I'm gonna take actually just the blending brush that we were just using. I'm gonna go in the transition shade, this kind of camely, oh gosh, right here, that color right there, and just kind of go right above that crease and kind of blend that in just a little bit more. Now, makeup doesn't always have to take this long to do. But I really enjoy doing it for this long, and so I'm sorry, my mirror was kind of in front of the camera, and so I don't mind this. Some days though I don't have this much time, and so like I'll do something a little bit more quick to put on. So now that I've got that, I am going to take, I have a more precise brush. I mean, it's like teeny tiny. This is called a liner smudge. It's a round, I don't know if you can see, it's a round brush rather than a flat brush, and it's pretty level on top. We're gonna take this color here. So I'm just gonna go in with this brush, and this is like, we use this color as kind of like a liner almost, and to use in that outer V. So once again, I just go along that line along my lashes, and I want to kind of concentrate that color towards the outside. Now we will do the bottom lash line later, after we have the rest of our makeup done, but this top is kind of where we get our inspiration. So we do this, and then I'm going to switch to that blending brush and just kind of blend that out a little bit.
Just deepen it out just a little bit. I'm sorry, I'm covering my face with the mirror. It just got blended just a little more than I wanted it to. Okay.
So I'm just gonna do this same dark shade on the other side.
As a liner, at least on this outer corner. And then I'll go in with the blending brush and kind of blend that in as well.
And guys, no eye look is complete without your lashes done. Just know that, because you'll look at your eye and be like, I just don't know if I know about this eyeshadow look. And then you'll put your lashes on and you're like, oh my gosh, okay. We're good, we're good. So now is when I do that brow bone highlight. And then for the sake of this video, I'm gonna do the inner corner highlight now too. Generally on the inner corner highlight, I wait until the rest of my face makeup is done. But I'm gonna show you kind of where I place it. We're gonna look at the thing here. So it's saying number 5, which is this color here is what they're intending to use for the inner corner highlight. The reason that you put this in here is it just makes your eyes look more awake. Yeah, you look more awake and alert. And I need help with that. I work nights, so I can use all the help I can get. And generally speaking, I'm sorry, I keep blocking you guys. Generally speaking, I put this here and then I put it here. But I'll do that probably more after I have the rest of my face makeup done. And then I really like, I don't know why. This is the Eco Tools large shadow brush. So it's meant for shadow, but I love it for highlighter. Like even highlighter on my face, it just works really well. Like it's the right shape for the highlight that I want. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this really pretty shimmery shade. Guys, I love shimmer. Like they have those all matte palettes and I wanna try them, but I'm afraid that I won't love the results because I just like something a little shimmery. Not glittery necessarily, but shimmery. You just put this up against your eyebrow and it just kind of lifts your eyes just a little bit and it just kind of, I feel like it completes the look and that's why I like doing it at the end. I don't go all the way in. I did at one time and I just didn't like the way that my eyes looked. I just like that little bit of lift in that curve of your eyebrow. So this tutorial is long enough. I'm gonna go get the rest of my full face of makeup on and I'll come back and we'll chat and yeah. I hope you guys can kind of give me some feedback and tell me how I'm doing. This is my very first video. So anyway, here we go. I'm back and my full face is done. So anyway, I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me, getting to know me a little bit better. And if you want to subscribe down below, I would love it. And push the little bell thing. I'm going to be trying to post 3 times a week. That's my goal. And like I said, this is brand new for me. So I will just do my best. And any suggestions that you guys have, please comment them down below because I need everything I can get. But yeah, go pick this up. It's I think between $10 and $12, but I feel like you can get so many more looks than just the one that I got out of it. You could just do, like I said, that transition shade and call it good. These dark shades are just so pretty. You could do just a kind of a brown look instead of the orangey look. So anyway, and they have like 5 or 6 of these. I've got 2 of them. I've got a purpley one. I don't remember the name of it. I should have looked. But I've got a purpley one and I've got this one. And I'll probably be getting some more. I'll have to see what the hubby says. So anyway, it was great meeting all of you guys. And I hope you come back for more of my videos. Have a good day. Bye.